All right, so hello friends. I'm so glad you're here joining me for day 1 of my On Your Mat challenge. So just by being here, turning this video on, you have already really completed the goal of day 1, which is to just show up for yourself, right? You've sat down and you've pressed play on this video. So congratulations, you're already on your way. And the rest of today's class is really just a bonus, really just for you to take time for yourself out of your busy day, right? Nothing else matters. We're just here right now. So we have a quick little yoga flow to go through today, just starting it off nice and simple. So when you're ready, you can get yourself situated on a mat or a blanket or towel or even just a rug, anywhere you have a comfortable spot will do. And we are going to start in mountain pose. So if you're new to yoga, mountain pose seems like just a basic standing pose, but really it's much more than that. It's actually quite an active pose. So we're going to begin by setting it up from the ground up. So once you are standing, you want to have your feet about hips width apart and start to really feel your weight pressing into the ground, right? And try to see if you can evenly spread your weight through all 4 corners of both of your feet. And that is where we begin. So now, moving up the legs, your legs should be lightly engaged. We're not tensing, but we're nice and strong. Up, hips aligned over our ankles, over our feet. Chest nice and open. Arms actually at your side with palms facing forward. And you can find a nice place to gaze, either straight forward or slightly down in front of you. And we're just going to start to take some nice, deep breaths. So while we're here, I'm going to let go of anything that's on your mind, anything you've done today or anything you have to do. Just focusing on the here and now, feeling your breath as it comes in through your nose, fills your lungs, and flows out your mouth. Feel free to close your eyes or keep them open, whatever feels good. Take one more moment here and just do a really quick scan from head to toe, noticing any sensations that you feel in any part of your body, anything that feels kind of off today, or just any new feelings if you haven't been in this pose for a while. And on your next exhale, you can open your eyes if they are closed. Inhale, raise your hands up, sweep them over your head, looking up, gazing between the fingertips. And exhale, bring your arms back down, sweep them down to your sides. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, arms sweep up over the head. Nice deep breath and exhale. Arms come back down to the sides. Beautiful. One more inhale. And this time we're actually going to keep our arms up towards the ceiling. Now taking your right hand, gently grab your left wrist. And we're actually going to take a side stretch here, focusing on lengthening through the left side of our body. So gently pulling the left arm straight up and over, start to bend to your right. And don't forget to breathe while you're in this position. You should start to feel a little bit of lengthening all through your left side of your body, left arm, torso, legs. If this isn't doing it for you, you can also send your hips a little bit out to the left, and that should make a little bit for a deeper or slightly different stretch. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, release back up to your mountain pose, and exhale, sweep the arms back down. Perfect. And do that same thing now on the other side. So inhale, sweep the arms back up, stopping at the top. Now this time, taking your left arm, your left hand, grabbing around your right wrist, gently pulling your right arm up and over towards the left, giving a stretch in the right side of your body. Again, you need a little bit more, you can focus on sending your right hip to the right a little bit. And don't forget to breathe. If you feel that the weight is more on your right foot than your left in this pose, that's totally fine. It shifts a bit as we tilt. Take one more inhale and exhale. And we'll exhale back up to center, gazing between the fingertips. Nice deep inhale here, filling the lungs. And exhale, arms come down at your sides. Beautiful. You can give your legs a little bit of a shake. Come back now out of mountain, out of our engaged mountain pose into just standing. Now I'm going to turn sideways for you. So next we're going to set up for our forward fold. So we're going to do this with a straight back and we're going to hinge at the hips. So as you inhale, lift the crown of your head up towards the sky, open your body nice and up. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips, keeping your back straight, fold forward, and stop where you stick. Stop where you feel like you can't comfortably go anymore. And take a nice deep breath here. If you need to bend your knees, that's totally all right. Now on your next exhale, you're going to relax and let your back bend. You fold forward and collapse over your legs. Hands can come to the ground or your shins, wherever they reach. And again, your legs can be bent. We're actually now going to take some time here and walk our legs out. So purposefully bending one leg at a time, straightening the opposite. Beautiful. And feel the sensations as they change from your bent leg to your straight leg. You might feel it in your hips. Might even be changing things all the way up in your back. And don't forget to let your head relax. No need to hold it upright. From here, whether your legs are straight or bent, we're going to bring them back. Both feet firmly on the floor. And now we're going to purposefully bend quite deeply into our knees until our stomach can actually sit on the tops of our thighs. If you need to grab anything, you can grab any sort of fabric, a pillow, a blanket, if you have a yoga block, and place it in here if your torso doesn't quite make it to your legs. Whatever you can do to rest in this position. And once you're here, really allow yourself to fold over forward and relax into gravity. You can grab the opposite elbows with your hands and let your arms dangle. And absolutely don't forget to let your head, neck, and shoulders totally relax here. Feel the pull of gravity gently opening up your spine. If you'd like, you can add a little bit of a sway back and forth here, whatever feels good. We'll take one more deep breath. And as you exhale, let your hands find their way to the mat. And press firmly into your hands, put a little bit of weight into them, so you can step your legs backward into a downward facing dog. So your hands are pressed nice and flat on the ground, pressing through all 10 fingers and your palms. Your feet are about hips distance apart, and your heels are reaching towards your mat, and it's totally all right if they don't make it there. Mine don't either. We're actually, just like we walked out our legs in our forward fold, we're going to do the same thing. So spending a few breaths here, alternating, bending one leg at a time. A lot of people call this walking their dog. And when you're focusing on your legs, don't forget to be pressing the mat away with your arms up through your shoulders. No sagging through your shoulders like this. Pressing nice and firm. Let your head relax here as well. All right, now from here, can come back to a static pose. Again, it's all right if your legs are a little bit bent here. The goal is to have your spine nice and long. But for here, we're actually going to set up for a little bit of a fun three-legged dog situation, starting with our arms. So focus on sending your weight into both of your feet evenly and starting with your left hand so that you can bring your right arm off of the mat. When you do that, reach towards your left opposite foot and either reach towards it if you can't reach or grab onto your foot or your leg, whatever it lands on. Feel this gentle opening twist. You can gaze between your left arm and left leg. One more breath here. And as you exhale, release your hand back to the mat. Give yourself a little wiggle if you need it. We're going to go for the other side now. So again, weight evenly in both legs. And this time, weight into your right hand so you can lift your left arm off the mat and send it a gentle twist, reaching towards your right leg. This time, gazing off to the right. It's a nice gentle twist in our downward dog. And on your next exhale, you can release your left hand back to the mat. Now bringing your knees down and sending your hips back over your feet, we'll come to child's pose for one moment and take a few breaths here. Letting your forehead rest on the mat. Knees can be close together or they can be spread out wide so your chest can go between your legs. Child's pose is our resting pose, and it is available to you at any time in the class you need it, during any class you ever take with me. When you're ready, we're going to press weight back into our hands and come back up through tabletop, tucking our toes, pressing up into downward dog, sending your hips up and back. Again, pushing the mat and the ground away with your hands. Find ourselves back in downward dog. So we're going to go for another three-legged dog, except this time we're going to be on both of our hands and one leg. So taking your right foot and moving it slightly in to the center so that we can have some really nice balance. Bring your weight into both hands and that right foot so you can lift your leg, your left leg, as high as you can. Can bend into the right leg if you need. Just send your left foot up towards the ceiling behind you. While you're here, notice if you've opened your hips, try to square them back so that your right and left hip bone are both pointing at the mat. If that lowers your leg, that's totally okay. It's not about how high it gets. One more breath here. And exhale, left leg back down. Your foot a little wiggle if you need it. Now we're going to go for the same thing on the left side. So left foot now moves a little bit in to get our balance point. And when you're ready, exhale your right foot back and up towards the ceiling. Don't forget while you're in this pose, we're focusing so much on our legs. Don't forget to push through your arms. And on your next exhale, you can release your right foot back down, back into our downward facing dog. We'll take one breath here before bending and bringing your knees back to the mat. And we're going to stop here in tabletop this time. So hands and knees and feet on the mat. How you feeling? Really just getting some movement in our bodies. So next thing, we're going to work on some cat-cow, some deep spinal movements. So on your inhale, you're going to bring your gaze up and allow your belly and belly button to come down towards the mat. This is your cow pose. I'm going to take a breath here for now. Really feel it out, pressing the mat away with your hands nice and strong through your shoulders. Tops of your feet are on the mat. And exhale back to neutral. So remember that pose, that's our cow pose. And now we're going to set up for our cat pose the opposite way. So this time, chin to chest, gaze comes down, tuck your tailbone, and allow your spine to reach up towards the ceiling. Still pressing firmly in your hands, all your fingers, pressing the mat away. So this is our cat pose. And when you're ready, you can come back to neutral. Next, we're going to just flow back and forth at your own pace. Continue on. So as you inhale, belly comes down, gaze comes up, cow pose. And exhale, tuck your tailbone, gaze comes down, cat pose. Continue this for a few cycles along with your own breath. Really just focusing on connecting your breath and your movement. Do a couple more. And on your next exhale, we can relax back into a neutral spine. We've just taken our cat-cow as lots of spinal movement, but we're really just moving up and down. So now we're going to take that around in a circle. So moving between those same poses, just like we did, we're just going to take it a slightly different way. And we're going to rotate and do trunk rolls around in a circle. So you can start back in your cow pose, except this time, when you exhale into cat pose, just curve your spine. Go for a circle coming all the way up to the top. You don't have to pause. Just continue around, circling your spine. Nice, deep rolls here. Don't forget to keep breathing. You can still link this breath with your motion. Also keep in mind, your neck is very much a part of your spine, so allow it to join in the movement here. Don't forget about it. When you're ready, you can stop and head the other direction. I like to think of this motion as if I could imagine like drawing a circle in space with my belly button, if that helps you picture it. And going through one more rotation, we can come back and find ourselves back in a tabletop with a neutral spine. Beautiful. So feel free to pause here, give a little stretches to your wrist, give them a little hand rolls here. Spent a decent amount of time on our hands. Show them some attention. Now we're gonna set up for a pose called thread the needle. So think back to our three-legged dog, and in the same way, we're gonna send our weight into both of our knees and one hand. So I'll send my weight into right hand, lift your left hand off the mat, and as you inhale, sweep your left arm up towards the sky and follow your gaze with your fingers. Reach as far up as you can. Nice open twist. And as you exhale, sweep your arm back down and continue that motion between your right and left, your right hand and leg, and come all the way through, reaching as far as you can. Thread the needle. If you're comfortable here, you can allow some bend in your right arm, even as far as to come and bring your forearm to the ground, and let your left shoulder and your head rest on the ground. Feeling a gentle twist and lengthening in the spine. On your next exhale, press your right palm back into the mat, raising back upwards. And inhale, sweep your left arm back up. Exhale, release it back to the mat. Beautiful. Same thing now on the left, or your right side, excuse me. So sending your weight into your left hand, reaching our right hand, we're sweep it up, inhale, hand up to the ceiling, gaze up at your fingers. And exhale, sweep your right arm down all the way through your left arm and leg, coming all the way down onto your left forearm if you'd like. Thread the needle on the right side. And take a couple of breaths here. Now on an exhale, press firmly back into your left palm, reaching all the way back up. Inhale, sweep your right arm back up towards the ceiling, gaze upwards. And exhale, right hand back to the mat. Beautiful, back at our neutral tabletop. Now from here, we're gonna make our way to our bellies, laying down. If you'd like to go straight there, go ahead. If you'd like to take a puppy pose right here, that's also a great option. So for a puppy pose, you wanna send your hips back as if you're going into child's pose, but actually walk your hands a little bit farther out so that when you press your chest down, you're getting a little bit of a back bend here. Stretching through your shoulders and back. Nothing too intense, just a gentle stretch. Take a couple breaths here. And when you're ready, coming back up to make our way onto our bellies. Beautiful. Take a moment to wiggle anything out if you're just making it here through puppy pose. And when you're ready, place your palms down directly under your shoulders. We're going to raise up for a gentle back bend, but only a little bit. So first we're going to come into cobra. So pressing through your palms, inhale to prepare, and exhale, press up, lifting your shoulders and chest off the mat, only part way up like this. Take a nice deep breath here. And exhale, release back down. Good. We're going to do that one more time. So again, pressing through your palms under your shoulders. Inhale, come up to cobra. Take a deep breath here. Feel your back doing some work here, but still getting some support from your arms. And on your next exhale, release back down. Perfect. Next, we're going to go a little bit farther up into our back bend. We're going to work on upward facing dog. So you can adjust and move your arms slightly backward if you know you have a deep upward facing dog. So again, inhale to prepare. And exhale, press up, this time coming all the way up into upward facing dog. If your arms are not all the way straight, no worries. Wherever your upward dog lands. Take a nice deep breath here. Feel your lungs filling with air, your chest opening. Beautiful, pressing a little bit into your feet and the tops of your legs. And on your next exhale, release back down to your belly. Great. We're going to do that one more time now. So inhale, prepare. And exhale, press upward into downward facing dog. Excuse me, upward facing dog. Now this time, on your next inhale, lift your crown of your head nice and long towards the ceiling. And exhale, gaze over your left shoulder. Take a breath here. On your next exhale, you can come back to neutral. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So inhale, nice and long spine to prepare. And exhale, gazing over your right shoulder this time. Still pressing firmly through the hands all the way up through your shoulders. And as you exhale, bring your gaze back to center and release all the way back down to your belly. Beautiful. Now bring your hands back down to the mat if they've moved. Press up into your tabletop position, back onto your knees. And now curl your toes under and come back to downward facing dog. Hips go up and back. Nice and long spine. Again, bending your knees if you like. Can also give a little movement, walk out your dog again. We're going to take a few breaths here. Now on your next exhale, allow your knees to bend. Send your gaze up towards your hands and slowly walk your feet up towards your hands. When you arrive at the top of your mat, go ahead and bend your knees as much as you need and take one more ragdoll. So folding forward, relaxing down into gravity, grabbing the opposite elbows with each hand, and give yourself a little rock back and forth. And when you're ready, pressing firmly through your feet, gonna straighten your spine, rise up, sweep your arms out wide over your head. Well, coming to extended mountain. And as you exhale, sweep the arms back down towards your sides. We'll find ourselves in one last pose here, back where we began in mountain pose. Again, pressing evenly through all the four corners of both of your feet, legs gently engaged, arms at your side, palms facing forward. Feel free to close your eyes if you're comfortable here. I'm going to take a few breaths. And as we take our final breaths together today, take a moment to do a gentle, quick body scan, taking note of any sensations that you're feeling, anything that you feel differently now as opposed to in our first mountain pose at the beginning of class today. Feel your feet pressing firmly into the ground, and the ground pressing back up into your feet. And if your eyes are closed, you can go ahead and slowly blink them open. Gently relax, maybe give a little wiggle to your arms and legs. And I want to thank you so much for joining me on your mat today. Congratulations for completing day 1 of the On Your Mat Challenge. Namaste. I hope to see you tomorrow.